Hey everybody, welcome back to this Let's Play of Final Fantasy. I am Drak. Let's get to it, shall we? Alright, last time on Final Fantasy, the Final Fantasy Let's Play, whatever you want to call it, we made our way into the new world by blowing up a landmass. But we're not going to talk about it anymore. And now we are in the town of Melmond. And quickly before we leave... I'm Dr. An. I'm sure you knew that already. But you didn't? Impossible! Should we have? Alright, I just wanted to show this guy off because he is part of the plot later. Because he is a very well-known linguist. That's all I'm going to say. I'm going to leave you guys in the dark. For those who have played this game, you're not in the dark. But in the meantime, yes, we have made our way into the new world. From doing all of our errands, and now we're making our way to the Terra Cavern. So now we can start our task of, we're the Light Warriors, we have to go free the crystals. And now we can start doing that. So we're going to the Terra Cavern, which is the housing of, or the home of the Earth Crystal. And the Earth Crystal is probably one of the weirder ones because you do have to do a little bit of an errand in it. At a certain point in the Terra Cavern, our path will be blocked. And the only way to unblock it is to take an item that we need to get in the Terra Cavern over to somebody else to get the item we need. But in the meantime, we're just going to quickly use a cottage to get our magic charges back, as well as save and all that stuff. And now we begin our trek into the Terra Cavern. Now, people might notice that I'm going through this pretty quickly. I actually do have a map that I'm using, so, I didn't want to make, endless wandering for you guys. I thought that would be kind of a jerk thing to do. So we will get through this fairly quickly, hopefully. It all depends on how much random encounters we have. Now, people might be asking, okay, well, why aren't you fighting in the random encounters? It's not for any of the reason that I just wish to conserve charges. I wish to try and conserve health as much as I can. Most of these places will have boss fights, and I'd much rather be prepared for them. So that's really the reason I do it. But I also will make detours here and there if I think that there's a valuable treasure in the dungeon to get. So if I do that, please understand, it's RPGs, guys. It's RPGs. I'm just trying to make sure that my characters are as best equipped as they can be. Makes sense, right? And of course, I run into a dead end and a random encounter. So much for not getting lost, huh? You didn't see it. You didn't see it. You gotta love random encounters, man. You take one step, boom, random encounter. That makes perfect sense. Well, at least I was able to make some good distance that time. And I do apologize for the late coming of this video, guys. It's actually been really busy on my end for the last couple of weeks. I just got a job at the college, and so that's been taking up a lot of my time, as well as doing all the other things that I'm doing with the college. Obviously, I'm getting ready to relaunch my radio program. For people who have been following that, have been wondering why I haven't been on, it's very simple. We've been moving over to a new campus, and so all radio kind of got halted. And in the meantime, I've been getting this job for the radio station, so I'm actually looking to get started again in the next week or two. I will keep you guys posted, as I always say I will. Nothing has changed. For those who are interested in trying it for the first time and want to know what kind of a show it is, it's an all-geek show. It is geeky news, reviews, and opinions. That's what it was in the summer and in the early spring. That's what it will continue being. So if you guys are interested, it will be on Radio SLCC, because that's my college. you can go to radioslcc.com, and I believe that they will run on Windows Media Player. So it's just, you only get a live feed. I am actually getting ready also to bring it up into iTunes and make it a podcast. So as soon as I get that going, I'll let you guys know. And I hit my desk. That's awesome. And actually, we're on the desired floor in the Terra Cavern right now. And I'm just double-checking the map, as you can see, to make sure I know where I'm going on the floor, because apparently random encounters like me. And I actually make it a good distance on this floor before I get a random encounter. That was awesome. Now, to a few people who have actually been asking, I think I made this clear before, but I'm just going to point it out again. Like the Mystic Quest LP, I will not be showing grinding. I will not do level grinding on camera. It's a pain for you guys. It would be something that I would be willing to consider if I had a partner in grinding, but I really don't. So, all living creatures were born to die. The seals cannot. I totally missed that. Okay. This is no place for the likes of you. Allow me to free you from your miserable mortal state. Alright, so we have our first boss fight in the Terra Cavern. Yes, there's 2 bosses. The first is this guy, the Vampire. So it's not Count Dracula? Nope, it is just the Vampire. Because, ooh, scary. And I'm sure he is just going to be a total pain in the butt. This is going to be a really difficult boss fight. Okay. Oh well, easy XP. Yes, I'm a little overpowered in the Terra Cavern at this point. And I get a random encounter right as I get to the chest. And it just so happens that the Vampire was guarding what I needed. So we're going to go ahead and take care of that. But I forget that I'm fighting Pyso Demons, and for some reason, I don't remember them having a block from escape, but I can't seem to run from them in this playthrough. So that's okay. I just didn't want to have to fight them and waste time. But that's okay. I can nuke them out if I need to. Although for some reason I'm hitting rather low. Oh, there you go. Bartz is hitting like his usual self. And another Fire 3. Because I'm overpowered like that. Seriously? 2 Fire 3s and they lived? Alright, so what's in this chest? We obtained the Star Ruby. Now, if we go a little bit further on this floor, we're going to get blocked by a giant stone tablet. What we need to do is take the Star Ruby over to the Titan's Cavern, which will open up the way to the Sage's Cave, and he will give me the Earth Rod, which will allow me to open up the tablet. Yes, complicated errand running. It's Final Fantasy. Roll with it. I wish I had a better answer for you guys. Not really. And then also, if people want to follow other things that I'm doing, I know this is just cheap plugging, but, you know, people might want to know. I'm also doing a Let's Play channel with my brother-in-law, Alex. We are Drak and Shadow, and you can go to youtube.com/Drak and Shadow. We actually just launched a couple of new LPs on there. We just barely finished our LP of Dot Hack Infection, and we're getting ready to launch our LP of Phantasy Star 2 next week. So that'll be awesome. And obviously we got Sonic Adventure just barely started up after Sonic 3 and Knuckles. And to the Pokemon fans out there, we have a Pokemon Blue and a Pokemon Yellow LP. Why do we have both? Because there's enough of a difference between the two games that we thought, okay, we can do that. So I am actually heading the Pokemon Blue LP. I'm the guy playing it. And then on Fridays, Alex is playing through Pokemon Yellow. And then we just do post-commentary on it. Just to showcase the differences between Blue and Yellow. Now, one of the questions that we actually do get with Drak and Shadow is, you know, are you going to do other generations of Pokemon? We are considering it, yes. But we're trying to figure out, okay, you know, with Blue and Yellow, there was enough of a difference to do those games together. So we're trying to figure out, okay, can we do that with Gen 2? Can we do it with Gen 3? Etc., etc. And we'll keep you posted on that. If you're asking whether or not you're going to see us go to the most current generation, probably not. Obviously, for those people who are following it, we're doing it on an emulator, and 3DS emulators really don't exist. I mean, I know you can get the card in the computer to broadcast the 3DS stuff, but no, I don't like that. So. Alright, and so now that we have the Star Ruby, we're actually going to make our way out, but unfortunately, kind of like in the Mystic Quest LP for the beginning part of it, we don't have an exit spell or a way to get out. So, unfortunately, I'm going to have to walk all the way out. But that's not going to be a problem, right? And I find it funny, I only have Fire 3, I don't have Bolt or Ice 3 yet. So I'm like saving that because it has the least amount of charges. This was actually an interesting concept, and I love the fact that it stayed in later Final Fantasy games, is having varying degrees of spells. So you had, and they only really did it with two to three, maybe 4, because one white magic spell got it most of the time. Where you have, okay, this small lightning attack, and then you can get up to a mid-range lightning attack, and then you can get up to the highest one, and then start getting into the rarer spells. And the same thing for white magic, where you have Cure 1, Cure 2, Cure 3. For those who have only played the later games, it's the system that you see in them, where it's Cure, Cura, Curaga, or Curaja. Same basic concept. They just decided, for some reason, not to call them Cure, Cure 2, Cure 3. Which I kind of wish they'd go back to, because Cura, Curaga, Thunder, Thundara, Thundaga, it's like, or Thundaja. It's a weird concept. I don't know why they went there. Now, one other question that I've actually been getting, both with Drak and Shadow as well as on this one, is, you know, we're coming close to the holidays. Are you excited for any games? Do you have any specific plans? Not really. Especially since I saw, like, games like Watch Dogs got moved back. My plan right now is, to... Basically, I have a big pile of games here. I'm just going to keep working on them, but, you know, obviously there are going to be a couple of games that I'm going to want to buy. Me and my wife are actually considering getting a Wii U. I've said that a couple of times, but bears repeating. Just because the Wii U now has enough of a library that I think it's worthwhile to do. So we'll start experimenting with that and see if it's a good system. We just held off on it. Kind of like the same reason that we're holding off on the PS4 and the Xbox One right now, is that there's only maybe 1 or 2 games we're interested in, and we want more than that at launch. So that's our plan. We're waiting until more games hit those platforms, and then we'll decide which one we want to go get. As far as a game update, though, for people who have been following that, I actually have recently beat another game. I finally completed the God of War trilogy, and it was totally worth it. I thought it was a good ending for the series. I'm not going into God of War Ascension right off the bat. I'm gonna let that ending kind of sink in, and then, because I've actually gotten a lot of people telling me Ascension is not really worth it for the story, and the multiplayer's kind of meh. So I'm just going to let the thing kind of digest. And in the meantime, I've actually gone back to the Assassin's Creed games. I just barely beaten Brotherhood, and now I'm getting into Revelations. Yeah, a lot of people told me, don't play Revelations. It's the worst of the Assassin's Creed games. I'm going to give it a shot. Just because I like having a solid continuity, and and it is finishing Ezio's story, and I do like the character of Ezio. So we'll see what I think of it at the end of it. The other interesting game that I've picked up is Bayonetta. Bayonetta 2 on the Wii U has really gotten me excited enough to go try out Bayonetta on the PS3. So I've been getting a kick out of that game. Holy moly. It is enjoyable beyond all recognition. It is so reminiscent of the Devil May Cry games. I mean, nice job, Sega. It is hilarious just to play through. I don't think I get all the story of it, but that's okay. It's still enjoyable. I'll have to let you guys know what I think, when I do a review for it. But it is awesome, and it makes me very excited for Bayonetta 2. I don't even know if I'm going to get the story when it finishes, to be honest with you guys. I think it's going to blow my mind, and I'm not going to care because I'm going to want to play Bayonetta 2 anyway. Devil May Cry did the same thing for me. I didn't really get the story, but it was fun to play. And that's all I want out of that series. Alright, so now we are at the Titan's Cave. And so, like I said before, this is where we're taking the Star Ruby, and oh, look, something's blocking our path.
Is that Star Ruby? Give me that and I'll let you through here.
Hi, giant stone butt.
Nothing better than rubies.
You ate it? Do you understand how much effort I had to go through to get it? Oh, well, he's moving. I had to go kill a vampire that took almost no effort at all. Quiet, all you. I don't need him knowing that. Alright, but he has opened up the way for the Titan's Cave, so now we can make our way to the Sage's Cavern in order to get the Earth Rod, which can help us move further into the Terra Cavern. But in the meantime, random attacks galore. If there was ever one thing that annoys me in RPGs, it is random encounters. Bugs the living crap out of me. Especially when they've made games like Chrono Trigger, and Final Fantasy 13 is another good example of this, where you can see the enemy, you can walk right into them, and get your fight. I like that model so much better. Random encounters is just dinky because, like I've said before, you can go one step, and boom, random encounter. Or you can get right to the door or the staircase, and boom, random encounter. And I don't know about you guys, but as a kid, when trying to learn these games, those are the encounters that sucked because, those were the ones you couldn't run from, and on top of that, you were getting tons of hits, and now you got to do this massive cure before the boss, and you didn't want to do that. Frustrating. Alright, so there is the Sage's Cave. Of course, random encounter. And enemies get to attack first. This is probably the first time we've seen it in our LPs, because I don't think Mystic Quest even allowed that. They allowed preemptive strikes, but they didn't allow for the enemies to strike first. Not unless the enemy was faster than, say, Benjamin. So, this is new. Alright, so the Sage's Cave. And I don't think there's any particular treasure that I'm going to walk away with here. But hey, let's check the pots anyway. Because pots. Alright, and here's the old man. The vampire was a mere servant of the real culprit, blocking the flow of the Earth Crystal's power. Take this staff and use it to probe beyond the vampire's chamber. Obtain the Earth Rod. Thank you, Mr. Sage. I hope I didn't take your walking stick, because you're going to have some problems. And strangely enough, I'm going to be a little busy saving the world. Because RPGs. I actually do like, it makes sense that not only an enemy, like, we could strike first in a battle, but an enemy could. I actually like some of the later ideas, specifically in Final Fantasy VI, where you can get a pincer attack, and they can pin you. That's an interesting concept. Combat in these games can get interesting. It can get repetitive, but it can also get very interesting. So I'm actually going to bounce this question back to you guys. We've been talking about, you know, what am I excited for in the holidays? I'd love to see in the comments below what you guys are excited for. Are you going to get a PS4? Are you going to get an Xbox One? Why? Are you getting a PS4 for knack? Are you getting a PS4 because you're a big Killzone fan? I'd love to know. I would also like to know later on, you know, in the future, if you guys like the systems when they launch. I'm not going to get one. I've seen a lot of hassle with the previous console generation launch. I don't see myself getting anything at launch. Not even the Wii U. I think we're waiting till past Black Friday to do that. And thankfully we waited long enough to get a price drop on the thing so we can get the higher hard drive. The only thing that's kind of a disappointment is one of the games I wanted to try out was Nintendo Land, but not really. I can live with the fact that I'm probably just going to get Wind Waker HD and go with that. Because Wind Waker was a good game. Yes, I said it, Zelda fans. Wind Waker was a good game. In fact, speaking of Zelda, one of the other games that I've been taking on recently has been, I finally got around to, after having the thing sit on my shelf for 3 or so years, I finally got around to starting up Skyward Sword. And, okay, Zelda purists, I'm with you. I'm totally a Zelda fan, but I'm tired of motion controls. I really am. I think it detracts so much from the experience. I think that game would be 10 times more awesome if, like Twilight Princess, you know, there was a control scheme to be able to play with a controller. You know, in the case of Twilight Princess, it was get the GameCube version. And I did the Wii version, and I wasn't totally satisfied, and I'm having the same problem with Skyward Sword. Maybe it's just because I'm nitpicking, I don't know. It's just bothersome to me. Motion controls were cool when they started out, but the problem is that when you've had a long day, you really don't want to have to mess around with motion controls and try and get everything right. You just want to be able to sit back in the chair. Oh, well. But anyway, this is going to be the end of this part for this week, so stay tuned next week as we take on the Terra Cavern and free the Earth Crystal. Once again, I am Drak, and this has been a Let's Play of Final Fantasy for the PlayStation 1.